Happy Friday, everybody. Marlene, aka Snowgirder 307. It is a cold, windy winter day here in Wyoming, and we are going to talk about spending and tracking today. I have not done a back to the basics tracking video since March 6th. And here we are, April 3rd. Part of the reason for this was, of course, our Hawaii vacation. So I'm going to take you guys back through several weeks of spending. I'm looking at these here. So we've got a lot to talk about. I'm also going to unstuff my wallet and restuff my wallet. But let's go ahead and get started with back to the basics. We are rolling all the way back to March 7th. Now I'm going to try not to spend too much time, but I know everybody is nosy like me and I want to know how people spend their money. So this week is when we went to Hawaii. So on Saturday and Sunday, I had a no spend. I don't know how it happened. It was a miracle. I probably didn't leave the house. On Monday, I got myself a chai tea, surprise, surprise. And we had Chinese food that night because there really weren't any groceries left in the house, and I had already cleaned the kitchen and everything for vacation, so I can justify however I want, right? So $42 for Chinese food. Then on Tuesday, we drove to Salt Lake City. We flew out of Salt Lake City for our Hawaii trip, and that night, we had jinya for our food. So Bridger had some ramen, I had a bao bun, and what did I have? Some crispy rice tuna, something like that. It was delicious. So we took $58 out of food and $5 out of Prepper Pantry. You guys are going to see some creative ways that I'm using my categories. And then we had an upgrade for our Hawaiian Airlines airfare. And so if you watched my Hawaii video, you know all about that. That was $850. We are paying for that part with our tax return, and Mr. Snowgardener paid for part of that as well. Then of course we needed some gas. So that was $34 for a tank of gas. Then we had to pay for parking when we were in Hawaii. That was $99. Mr. Snowgardener is paying for that. Then we landed in Hawaii on Wednesday. We went to Walmart and got a few groceries. I also needed a belt, and I can't remember what else we got, but that's what we got, and we spent $73.95. Then on Thursday, we drove around the island. This was the day that the Kona storm actually hit. So during the day, the weather wasn't great, but it was that night that it got really bad. So we went to the Volcano National Park. Unfortunately, it was partially closed because the volcano had erupted the day before we got there. So we paid $30 for that. And right here you see that I have taken dollars out of everything. I took $6 out of fun, $4 out of car, and I paid $20 for that. Then we went to a little beekeeping honey place, a local one on the island. It was absolutely amazing. We bought some gifts, $33.77. I decided to use my pay it forward money for that of $30, $7 or $4 for me. And then Kona Coffee. Kona Coffee and tea was delicious. This was our favorite place. So I did Prepper Pantry for $19. Is coffee Prepper Pantry? No, but that's how I decided to spend my money. Then Super J's. If you are ever on the Big Island, I recommend Super J's for some amazing local food. It was delicious. We had dessert and we had lunch. So $27.65, $19.26. Again, we used Prepper Pantry money and some fun money. Then we went back to Walmart, got some more food. We spent fun money on that for $22. And then we had another stop at the Kona Coffee and Tea. I went ahead and paid for that, $24. And we had lunch at King's View. That was absolutely delicious as well. We had a big old pizza. Mr. Snowgardener loves pizza. So he paid for that. Then we needed to get some gas for the car, and that was $62. I took that out of my car money. So for the week, we spent $1,452, so a lot of money. But remember, $850 is that Hawaiian Airlines. And then, of course, Mr. Snowgardener is paying $500, taxes $523. The rest came out of my wallet and my daily spending. Then we jump on over to March 14th through the 20th. So on Saturday, we're still in Hawaii. We went to the grocery store, Heiko, and spent $20.68 on some groceries. Also, we got some groceries at Safeway, $25.52. and we had to get some gas. So you can see I'm getting creative right here. So we've got gas, $54.85. I took $27 out of car, $25 out of fun, and $3 out of pay it forward. Sunday, we ate McDonald's in Hawaii, you guys. That's right. We usually don't do that, but I can tell you guys this. McDonald's has those fried apple pies, and they were delicious. And then we also went to KB, which was food. Again, some creative stuff here. $22 for food, $20 Prepper Pantry, $31 for food here. No spend on Monday. This is a day that we just spent in the hotel because of the storm. And then on Tuesday, we did go to our luau. We had to pay $7 for parking. And then we've got some more food here. We've got Coastal, that was food. We did Prepper Pantry for $25. Then we went to Ken's and had some great food, $62.74. We took $5 out of Prepper Pantry. We're going to use $58 from tax return. We needed some more gas, Hele, for $65. And you guys just remember, we are driving a Ford Mustang, a convertible. So great, gas mileage, but the gas is expensive. So $65 taxes is going to pay for that. Then we had the fees for checking out of our hotel in Hawaii. The fees were $511. Taxes is going to pay for that. Another stop at Kona Coffee for $28. I paid for that. ABC stores. This was gifts and stuff, but I didn't have any gift money left, so I decided to use my money for $25. Taxes for $27. Budget car, the rest of the rental car was $243. We're going to use tax return to pay for that. And then when we came home, when we landed in Salt Lake, we went ahead and did some grocery shopping for $73.50. Taxes are going to pay for that. And actually, this umike's was our last dinner in Hawaii, and it was an expensive one. It was $157. We needed some gas in my car once we were back stateside. And, well, I guess mainland, right? Stateside. It's just mainland because Hawaii is a state as well. And then Wendy's food on the way home. So out of all of this spending, we had $1,451 for the week. We are taking our tax return and utilizing $1,186 to pay for that. Normally, we don't get a tax return. And this year, because of a lot of things, we have a tax return coming. Hawaii, as I've said already, was one of the few vacations that we did not have 100% saved for before we went. I hope to never do this again. It was very stressful. I like the way of paying for everything ahead of time. Of course, it is what it is. We did it. It wasn't in the budget right now, but we're making it work. So like I said, for that week, it was $1,451. Let's roll on over. Here we are back at home. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was no spends. On Tuesday, I took my mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law out to lunch, and it was $128.31. I actually took this out of the pet fund. The reason why is that my in-laws watch the dogs while we're gone, so this is my thank you to them. I needed to do a car wash, $23 out of car. I got myself a chai tea, $7. Then Mr. Snow Gardener was home this day, so he got a coffee, I got a chai, $15. You guys see my addiction right there, right? And then on Thursday, I was out of town, and this was actually to deal with the house a little bit, and I didn't put anything towards probate right here. I went ahead and paid for everything the way I normally do. We had taco time. I stopped and grabbed my grandbaby a big thing of diapers for $43. We stopped at Farce and Merck and had some ice cream for $17. We needed to get some gas in the car. I took $27 out of car, $13 out of fun. The reason why I only took $27 out of car here is you look that I had a car wash here. I only have $50 for the week, so $13 came out of fun. Again, more chai teas right there, $15. Then on Friday, I had to get a big dumpster. And so I spent $423 for the fee to get it delivered. We still have to pay for more. I needed some gas in my car. I made a screaming trip to Rock Springs to get some paperwork to file taxes for the estate. And then I had to buy a couple shirts for my work. I am now working at the Wind River Brewery as a bartender. I worked Thursday and Friday, but very part-time. And then of course, right now I'm having my surgery, so I won't actually be back to work for quite a while. $34 for work shirts. They did give me one for free, but I like having multiple shirts. So I spent $330 plus $452 out of probate. So that is how that works. So you're going to see very quickly that probate is starting to get expensive. Just in case you didn't know, my stepfather passed away almost a year ago, April 15th of last year. And I've been paying all of the bills for the house, but I haven't been including it in any sort of weekly spending or anything. And then we jump to the week where we're at right now. We were out of town dealing with the house, cleaning the house out on Saturday and Sunday. So we've got quite a bit of spending. My mom's truck that was willed to my son, but I purchased it from him, needed a new battery. So it was in the garage at the house, the probate house, and we couldn't get it started. It needed a new battery. We knew it was going to need one. So $162. I took this out of my long-term car sinking fund. Then U-Haul, we went and got boxes and tape. That was $55. My husband made a trip to the dump with tires, an old washer that was garbage, as well as mattresses, because we could not put those in the dumpster. That was $23. I bought pizza for myself, my husband, and my son who helped us. So that was probate as well, $75. Then we had to get some gas in the truck, and that was $55. I did go ahead and put $20 of my car money to this. $35 will be for probate. Then we got chai teas, and I also had a debuck there, so $17 out of my money. Then day 2, we needed to get more fuel, and this was for the dually, so a diesel, it was $133, and we bought some food for $32. You'll see here that I did go ahead and take $22 out of miscellaneous, $10 out of food to pay for that. No spend on Monday, no spend on Tuesday, $7 for chai tea for me on the 1st. On Thursday, back to Rock Springs again, had to start cleaning the house. So I got myself a chai tea. There was a debuck there. Then for dinner, I had McDonald's, super healthy. I know I had a fillet of fish. That was probate, but I did pay for it out of our cash. My son and I went out to lunch to Grubs, had a burger and fries there. Absolutely delicious. That came out of his money because, of course, I set aside money to take them out to eat and stuff. And then I had to get some gas to come home. So $30, I did take that out of my car fund, but it is a probate expense. Then I went to Walmart, spent way too much money on stuff I probably didn't need. I spent $100 on stuff specifically to clean the house, a little bit more than that. But the way that I broke it down, $100 to probate, $15 to miscellaneous, $25 to home, $35 towards my surgery because I did get pillows and stuff that I'm going to be utilizing for my surgery. And then today is the 3rd. As we're talking today, I went and got myself a London Fog instead of a chai tea. It was $7 with tip. And then I found a B-Buck and a G-Buck. So I paid all of that. And then I went grocery shopping today. You guys, you'll notice that there haven't been any groceries for quite some time. I spent $130, $55 out of Prepper Pantry, $80 out of food. And so besides the probate stuff, I spent $443 this week. Probate was $513, making this $956. So let me explain something really quickly. Probate money, I still have to pay this, right? Whether I put it on a credit card, whether I paid cash for it, I'm still paying for it. But as far as budgeting categories, I didn't think it was fair to say I spent $133 on fuel, because I would not have spent that $133 for the week if we didn't have to go clean the house out. And so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to keep track of everything. And for taxes, the estate will be able to write off everything that we've done on probate. Of course, we'll still be paying for it, but it is a different way to keep track of things. Let me know. Have you guys ever been through probate? What was it like for you? I can tell you guys that it's been almost a year that this has been in probate, and it's been a pain in the butt. I encourage all of you guys to talk to somebody, look stuff up online, get yourself a living trust set up so that your children don't have to go through what I've been going through for the past year. So lots of spending. That is the end of our month, right? And I've got my wallet here. I've got my new cash here. I've got my weekly check-in. Now, one thing that you're going to see is that my wallet is pretty much empty. And the reason for this is I went ahead and put money towards the probate stuff, as I just showed you guys right here. Taco time, you know, we put $10 of our food and $20 of our miscellaneous to pay towards that. So as we go through this, you're going to see that most things are empty. So for food, I can tell you guys this, empty. So we spent $100. Prepper Pantry, we spent $50. You guys know that this is unusual for us. For car, I took all $50. So we've got no rollovers. We've got nothing going to anything else. For me, I do have some rollover here. I did not take the rest of my money and put it towards the probate. I started out with $70. Now I have $29, so I spent $41, and I am not going to punish myself and put every dime of this towards the probate right now. Pay it forward. I did not pull out the pay it forward, so you can see we've still got $20 in there. So we did not spend anything, so 20. But I can tell you this, I took all that fun and miscellaneous money. I also took the home money and put it all towards everything. So we have to restuff our wallet. You can see all of this cash back here. This is all going into the bank. This is going to pay the credit card for the things that we charged. So that's going to stay in the bank category. And let's go ahead and restuff our wallet really quick. Then we will total our month up. And we want to make sure that everybody who is trying to budget, who is trying to become debt-free, tracks their spending. That is one of the most important things that you can do, is tracking your spending. Now, I heard something the other day. Somebody was asking questions. It was like a YouTube short or something like that. And they're like, how many hours did it take for you to earn your paycheck? And, you know, of course, it takes us 40 hours a week, 80 hours every 2 weeks, 120 hours, however many hours. We spend all that time making money, but we're not willing to take a little bit of time to keep track of where our money is going. And you guys, you know, I am only able to sit here and talk about this because I used to do that. I used to just spend whatever money I wanted to spend whenever I wanted to spend it and worry about it later, which is why I got almost $50,000 in credit card debt in addition to all of the other debt that I had. I am here to tell you guys that you can create a system for yourself that will make it very, very easy to keep track of where your spending goes. Now, this can be as simple or as complicated as you want. I was just talking to Mr. Snow Gardener the other day about how I tend to make things more complicated than they have to be. So it depends on your personality type. It depends on how much time you want to spend on your budget. But you can do this with a minimal amount of time, with minimal categories, and get where you want to be. It might take a while, you guys. This is not a get out of debt quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme, anything like that. So for this week, you guys, we're going to show that we spent a whole bunch, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys spend the time taking care of tracking your spending. That is the first step to getting out of debt. And of course, if you're not tracking, then you have no idea where your money's going. And of course, one way to keep track of that is you can keep track of it all in a banking app. Maybe use your debit card for absolutely everything. Or maybe you just go ahead and do cash and do the envelopes. Now, of course, I've still got my dividers, but if you watch my channel, we do a lot of placeholders and things like that, so we don't have all of the cash. When I go to do Mr. Snow Gardener's budget, I, of course, am going to talk a little bit more about sinking funds. So you guys are going to see that next Wednesday. So if you want to know a little bit more about sinking funds and how to figure those out for yourself, make sure you turn in next Wednesday. All right, let's go ahead and put some money towards our mortgage through savings challenges. Oh, let's go ahead and total up the whole month. I almost forgot. So it was $303 for the week. This $385 was high because that was Hawaii. And of course, you guys know this is just the money out of the categories that I keep track of. If I was to keep track of every single penny that we spent, obviously this would be way higher than it already was because we don't have our bill money in here. We don't have Mr. Snow Gardener's money in here or anything like that. So for the total right here for the month, as far as categories, food, prepper pantry, car, me, pay it forward, fun, miscellaneous, and home, we spent $710. You can see for our food right there, we spent a lot of money on food for us. That was $411 on food. And for us, that's quite a bit. I do give myself $100 a week. That includes fast food as well as groceries. And sometimes I do get creative with my categories, as you saw when we were on vacation, because Hawaii wasn't fully paid for before we went. All right, let's go ahead and do some savings challenges. We've got a hodgepodge of savings challenges here. That's how I feel like my life is now, a hodgepodge. We've got $75. The first thing I want to do is I've got this shut the box right here. I want to go ahead and finish this one out. I do want to let you guys know that I am having a sale on my website as well as Etsy. Everything is 25% off. I'm calling it my spring surgery sale. I am trying to get a little bit of sales generated before I have surgery. So if you've been thinking about wanting this shut the box bundle, now is the time. Like I said, I want to go ahead and finish these out, and we are going to keep track of all of the different amounts that we save. $75 is all we're working with. So let's see, how many challenges can we get done? We've got a 7, and of course we're going to say no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. We've got an 8, and I just love Shut the Box. It's one of my favorite games. If you're brand new here, there are several different versions that I play, and we've got a 10, so we're going to do 6 and 4. I almost messed up. So we've got 5, 2, and 1 left, and we've got an 8 now. Yes, that adds up to 8. That would be a shut the box. However, for this one right here, you can only color in 1 or 2 numbers. That is the rule. So we've got $8 for that round. 5, 6, 7, and 8. If I shut the box, we'll owe $25. Can I get all of the numbers? Let's see. We got a 7. So no whammies, big bucks, big bucks. We've got an 8. Okay, can we do it? Let's do it. We haven't done it in too long. A 6. We've got another 7. We're going to do a 3 and a 4. So we've got a 9, a 5, a 2, and a 1 left. And we've got a 7. So a 5 and a 2. So we've got a 9 and a 1 left. We got a 4. So we owe $10 there. So $18 for Shut the Box today. And yeah, we haven't shut the box in quite some time. Of course, this one features Georgette and Fred Jr. Then we've got Snowballing My Savings. I've been working on this one for a little while, and it does feel appropriate today because we have been getting snow the past couple days. I'm going to go ahead and let's roll 3 die. Let me grab another one out of here. We're going to roll 3 dice. Then we're going to see how many snowballs we can color in with what we get. So we got 10. So we're going to go ahead and save $10 for snow. I'm going to go ahead and pull that on out of there. Perfect. And then with this one, I could color in a 5, a 3, and a 2 if I wanted to. And I think I might actually do that. And the reason why is if you look and you go down around the snowballs, we've got a 5, a 2, a 1, and a 3. So we've got that 1 right there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and do what we rolled. A 5, a 2, and a 3. And this version right here is the Little Mystery. This bundle comes with a whole bunch. Again, 25% off for that. So $10 for snow. Now, let's go ahead and get into the life of a succulent who wants to inspire others. This is my Fred Jr. Savings Challenge book. Let's go ahead and start with page 1. We need to start getting some more of this one done right here. So we're just going to say Fred Jr. for the dollar amounts. And let's go ahead and roll 3 dice again all at the same time and do 3 of these right here. Ooh, we got some big ones there, you guys. We got a 6, a 4, and a 6. So that's going to be $16. So 5, 10, 15, and 16. I've got a ton of 1s left, you guys, but that's okay. 1s spin the same, right? And then we have got some scratch offs here. Now, it is a new month. We have our Happy New Year challenge on the back. We've got April here. We've got 3 rolls to do for April. So let's do $5 for that. And we're going to say hello for $5. I'm going to go ahead and grab some 1s out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got 1 of those done for the month. And then I have got this Firefly challenge that has the 2 sides. Let's go ahead and do a roll and save on the back. That was a 1. Let's go ahead and do 1 more and another 1. So $2 there for Firefly. Now let's go ahead and flip it on over. Let's scratch 1. If it is 5 or less, we'll scratch another one. Oh, it's a ×2. So we're going to go ahead and scratch another one, and whatever that amount is what we're going to save. And so that's 4. So we're going to save $8. And we're going to use ones again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, for the times 2, you could roll a die if you wanted. So for Firefly, I believe it was $10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It sure was. And I love being able to have some small challenges that can use a little bit of money, right? And we've got Georgette, and this is her Happiness is a Long Hot Bubble Bath. We've got 4 left. This is a big challenge. This is a $100 challenge. We're going to go ahead and scratch off one of these. Let's see what it is. $5, not too shabby. So $5 for the front side of the bath. And let's go ahead and what do we have left? We still got enough. Let's flip it on over and let's go ahead and color in a rubber ducky. And each rubber ducky is $5. That is the amount that I decided to do. So another $5 for rubber ducky. This always makes me think of Sesame Street. Did any of you guys grow up with Sesame Street? Oh, let me know. And then I went ahead and grabbed out a newer challenge. It's not newer. It's just new to us today. These are my gnome challenges. I've got big sets of these ones. I loved the lemons on the back. These are $5 a piece, so it's $50. But if you decided you didn't want to make lemonade with $5 lemons, you could change them to $1. You could do whatever you wanted. Let's see, what do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1 to 5, so we will be a-okay to scratch one. Let's go ahead and scratch this one right here. And we've got $2. Now, I say we go ahead and roll the dice to see if we can get 4 or less. If we get a 5, I'll go ahead and pull an extra $1 out of the savings challenge money. I'm going to do this one right here. Ah! It's a 5. Really? I don't know how many 5s are on here. This is a $30 challenge. So we've got $4. I'm going to pull one more $1 out of the savings challenge money. So $76 today. So we've got $7. We're going to call that one Zest. Or should we just call it Lemon? I don't know. The Zest is yet to come is what that is. And we said that that was 7, right? So let's add these up to make sure that I've actually counted my money correctly. I know I make lots of mistakes on these. $76. So we've got $76 going to the mortgage for our payment. So every dollar adds up. All right, you guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And until I see you guys next time, remember to keep on smiling. Bye, everybody.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna